Okay, it's Sunday night, and as what's going to become my practice, you'll notice, I'd like to just review with you the past week. And because in trying to get a little jump on things, I sort of gave you a preview of week 2 already. The second thing I'd like to do tonight is just talk a little bit more about the course, how it's developed, some things I saw in both discussion boards, the introductory board, which I really want to thank everybody for your participation there, and the first graded discussion board, the one on vision, values, and mission, which was fantastic. Thank you very much. I mentioned in my opening comments last week that you were going to have a tough act to follow in the class that just ended. And if this open discussion board is any indication, you've done it for weeks. Okay, now we've got 7 more weeks to keep it up, so we've got a challenge ahead of us. But that was an absolutely excellent discussion, and what I really appreciated from everyone was the depth and the consideration of what you put in your discussion board posts. It demonstrated in just about every case uh, some critical thinking about the material, about the concept, where you had seen it applied before, where you would like to see it applied, what it meant to your own experience, what you thought it meant in business. If, say, you weren't a business person right now, comparison back for many of you to the military values, uh, comparison to each other. It was just excellent. And as I told you, my method would be at a class at this level. You notice I didn't do anything. All I did was ask the question and provide you some material. And you guys took on the responsibility for your own learning, which is what this is all about. So I would say that for everyone that has the chance, go back, review that whole discussion, and understand that that's the way it should be. It was excellent stuff. And as to the content of what I saw, I just spoke about the form and depth. Uh, it was really neat to see people's reactions. A lot of people agreed with me. That's nice. It's not required. A lot of people didn't. And what's really great about it is, as you can see, there's no way you can really be absolutely right or wrong. A lot of the work that's been done in the whole area of strategic planning revolves around these concepts. You know, I just finished reading one book a couple of weeks ago, where somebody said, well, you know, as long as you figure out who the stakeholders are, the vision and the mission will sort of fall into place. I had never thought of it that way. I'm not sure I accept that yet, but there's just another example of another piece of thought that's been thrown out on that. There's only one of you, and I won't say who because I can't remember, but I can remember what you said that I personally uh, disagreed with. Somebody in the board just wanted to get it down to financial values, and saying, you know, those were the only resource allocation tools were measures like profitability and ROI. I'm going to say right now, interesting concept. I think it's a little after the fact, and I'm going to say that I disagree with that one. But it was a very well thought out and well stated comment. So bravo, make more comments like that. It's great stuff. And what I want again to emphasize: depth, interaction, thought, looking at the materials. Keep it going, guys. It's working great. Okay, now speaking about working great, I'd like to back up a little bit to some of the things that happened last class. As I mentioned, I'm always trying to improve the class. I'm always trying to make it better. I'm trying to make it a better experience for all of us. And so I try different things. And as you'll come to realize when you read some of the material and view some of the speeches that come up, uh, nothing interesting or really great was probably ever done right the first time. So when I try something new, it may not be so great the first time. Then good stuff takes refinement. It takes time. It takes failure so that you can learn from the failure. A lot of concepts that you will talk about in this class are related to this whole idea of what I just call trying stuff. So some of the stuff that we are doing, yes, I am trying stuff, and you're the laboratory, and it's always that way as we go on. A couple things though that I want to mention. I was a little concerned. I'm much less concerned now that I really reviewed the entire discussion board, but I was a little concerned when I kept reading so many people saying that they had 5 and 6 and even more courses left to take before finishing their degrees. I know to a lot of you that seems like it's really, really close. But I just want to reiterate, I can't even speak tonight. It must have been a long week. I want to reiterate that Business 411, the policy seminar, the capstone course, is designed to be the last, or at least one of the last business courses that you take, and to give you an opportunity in this course to weave together all the different threads that you've picked up in all your previous business education into one final piece, and to weave everything together, like I said, all the threads come into one piece of cloth here, and that's where we put it all together on the table. So what I need to be careful of, and catch me if I'm making this mistake, I approach it from that point of view. That this is probably the last class that you're going to take in business. And I'm a little concerned when I saw the number of people saying, oh, they have 5 and 6 classes left to go, that I may be assuming that you've done some work that you might not have done. If that situation comes up, I really want you to get to me either through email or on the general questions discussion board so we can address it right away. From the quality of the first discussion board, I don't think that's going to happen, but I am very, very aware that the possibility exists, and I just want you to be aware that I've recognized that, and it can happen. The other continuing theme that seems to come up, and it was kind of unspoken, I could see, but a couple of people actually talked about it. I did mention that we're going to do a group project. Collaboration is very important. Collaboration remotely is difficult. I understand that. I understand that at this time of year, a lot of people try to take vacations and it becomes difficult. I understand that many of you are remote from each other. This is going to make things difficult. People are in different time zones. This is going to make things difficult. And in the last class, I had one person actually write in the course survey at the end of the course that he thought the group project was just absolutely ridiculous, unfair, and had no place in online education. All of which are statements with which I totally disagree. Collaboration in a remote, to use the old buzzword, virtual method is very important in business today. You'll find yourself doing it a lot, and something I think we need to continue. Also, strategy. When we are talking about crafting strategy when done by an individual is, in my experience, a very, very dangerous thing to do. The development of a business strategy needs to be done by a team, period. It needs to involve the opinions, the knowledge, the abilities of many. We're going to do it in small groups because that's a feasible way of doing it. But I want you to understand that I think this project is very important to the way you're going to be able to function in your careers after college. And I think that you'll find it that way. So I understand that group projects are difficult. I understand that people don't like them, but I'm going to tell you right now that I found them to be one of the more effective teaching tools that we have. So please understand that this project is worth a lot. It's the major deliverable in the course. and I will set it up to be as workable as possible. You're going to get a group discussion board. You're going to get a group set of file sharing tools. You're going to get everything for your group. I will be available to each group. I do pay attention to each group. Not everyone in the group seems to understand this sometimes, but not everyone in the group gets the same grade because your ability to participate, your contribution to the group is something that I value, and that's something I've come to know that I have to monitor closely. And I think it's only fair that those who've done more get recognized more. So that will happen, and we can talk about this as we go on. So the group project will get introduced right at the beginning of next week. All right, let's just leave it at that for now. But that's the way we want to do things. So this is how we're going to do the rest of the course. Okay, so we're going to work on the group projects. You're going to have the discussion board at length. I am not going to jump in too often, except on this weekly basis. Now, if the discussion board starts to go awry, starts to go far afield, it gets a little bit off topic or something, yes, of course I'm going to come back in. But as of 10 minutes ago, there were, excuse me, 105 posts in that first discussion board. I want you to know that I read them all, and just the fact that maybe you didn't get a personal response does not mean I didn't read your post. So that's the way I tend to do things. Okay. Another thing I'm going to give people fair warning about, because maybe I haven't in the past. But when we do projects and do discussion boards, and the project in particular, the one complaint I get sometimes is that my instructions are a little bit vague. They're a little bit freeform. They're not very specific. I do that for a reason, okay? Again, at this level, with this course, the responsibility for the learning falls back upon you. I'm a facilitator at this point. I'm also, again, trying to simulate what you'll see happen at a senior executive level in the business world. And believe me, I've been there both as a participant and as a consultant. And I'm going to tell you right now that instructions are usually very vague, very broad. You're given a goal, and it's up to you to figure out how to achieve that goal. Not just in the overall achievement, but in the methods you will use to achieve it. And that is one of the reasons when people ask me questions about, say, for instance, when we get down to the end, how long does the presentation have to be? And I'm saying, it doesn't even have to be a presentation. It can be a paper. Well, how long does the paper have to be? Well, I don't know. It has to be long enough. So then we can do a presentation. You need to convey the information. You see all the kind of answers that I'm giving? All vague. They're to put responsibility on you that you're now ready to take, and to give you that opportunity to show what you've learned and how far you've progressed. So I hope this makes a little bit of sense to everybody, and we've cleared some things up that maybe might have had to be addressed later. I wanted to get them early. But to go back, like I said, that first discussion board was absolutely excellent. Please refer to the video I created Fridays for the introduction to week 2. And as usual, if there are any questions, please feel free to ask. If it's a question you think that will help everyone else, put it in that general questions discussion board. If it's something very specific to your case, send me an email. It's the best way to get in touch with me, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. All right, thank you for the great work, and looking forward to the next week. Thanks again.